I was going to say that SEO with Fat Joe is as peaceful as this, but then the birds are all having fights.
Did you know that Google personalizes many searches by city and Also Ask is the only tool to access live People Also Ask data at city level? Try for free at alsoasked.com.
Tired of SEO guesswork? Quadra's AI agent goes deeper to uncover high-impact optimizations and completes hours of SEO in minutes. Get started now.
Hello everyone. Oh yeah, the mic is on. I just want to give you a heads up that I'm struggling a little bit with hay fever, so if my voice goes a bit funny, that's the reason why. I'm Sal, I'm a Senior Paid Media Manager at Reboot, and today I would like to talk to you about the evolving role of the Paid Media Manager and how our job has changed from focusing just on the platform optimizations, platform results, to becoming strategic business partners with a very high focus on data and creative strategy. Got it here. Some of you might know in the room, the paid media specialist role has changed drastically in the past 10 years or so. Back in the day, the role of the paid media manager was pretty much to try to optimize for the lowest cost per click. So the goal was ultimately to bring the highest volume of traffic possible at the lowest cost per click. As a result of that, the campaign structures and the account structures were very segmented. So we used to be responsible for managing dozens of campaigns, hundreds of keywords. We used to have the SCAG strategy, where we would have ad groups divided by match type, many keywords within each ad group. We'll have to have misspellings of the keywords, plurals. And the ultimate goal of that was to really be able to look at the data, fragment the data as much as possible, so us humans could optimize the strategy. But then machine learning and automation came into play, and they kind of like revolutionized the way that we do our job. We no longer need to optimize for the lowest cost per click. The machine is kind of like doing that for us. With smart bidding, for example, we don't need to be manually updating the cost per click. We don't need to really manually add those bid adjustments for weekends, for lower business days, essentially. The focus has shifted mainly to quality over quantity. So instead of trying to optimize for the lowest cost per click and really try to beat Google and win that auction, that top of the page position, our job has focused much more on driving quality traffic, really trying to get that traffic that comes to the website with high intent to take the action that we want them to take, so we get a really good positive ROI from our activity. As a result of that, the account structures have changed. So now we don't have to have thousands of campaigns, hundreds of keywords. Everything is much more compact. We have a lower number of campaigns, we have a much more reduced number of keywords, and we let the machine do a lot of the bulk work that we used to focus so much time on when it comes to the optimization of the cost per click, as an example. So there's a question that keeps getting asked. Has AI replaced our job? Is the paid media role dead? I would say no. Do businesses need to hire paid media specialists? Yes, they do. Can't my son's neighbor's friend's cousin who runs a plumbing business but likes Facebook run my ads? No, they can't. We are actually needed now more than ever before. As we all know, algorithms are only as good as the person using them. It's all about managing that data, manipulating that data to really give the algorithm all the insights it needs to then go after high relevant traffic. As humans, we bring unique value that algorithms haven't been able to replace yet. So in my talk today, I would like to explore those unique values that we bring as humans that really show that we are needed in this industry. And as paid media specialists, we are needed from, if you work for an agency, for example, to work with clients, or if you are a business looking to hire an in-house paid media specialist, this is what you should be looking to get from your paid media specialist. So understand the business goals. AI and machine learning and all the automation out there, they don't really know what the ultimate goal of the business is. When we set up the campaigns, we can say, okay, we want to optimize for conversion value, or we want to optimize for engagement. But ultimately, what the goal of the business is something that is tailored to each business. We can have two very similar businesses that do exactly the same thing, but as businesses, they might individually have different objectives, different goals. So this is where the paid media specialist needs to create a strategy and become that strategic partner that really drives that ultimate business goal. Here I have an example. If you are working either in-house or as an agency with a dog food business, ultimately we want people that are interested in buying dog food. So if you use the keywords, for example, dog food, buy dog food, it's very likely that Google will serve your ads to those looking for cheap dog food because it's within that keyword, it matches the search intent. But as a business, you are a premium brand. You are not looking for that audience. You don't want to target the cheap audience. It might even be that you get some sales out of that audience, maybe because you have a first-time promotion on the website. But when you look at lifetime value investment and all of that, you are looking for a premium audience. You don't want to be serving for cheap dog food. Again, if you let the machine do its thing, the machine is very likely going to serve your ads to users looking for cheap dog food. Unless you provide those data signals and you become that strategic data partner that really builds the campaigns with those data signals to let the machine optimize towards the more premium audience. You know your audience better. Again, when it comes to understanding the business, the goal of the business, the audience that we are trying to target, that's something that the machine has not been able to do by itself yet. It needs that human input. It could be through building audiences, for example. It could be through the ad copy, that creative aspect of making sure that we are passing the right message, so we are really getting engagement and interactions from that audience that we want to target. As an example, if you are a premium skincare brand, for example, and you run ads on Facebook, Meta, those ads tend to get good engagement anyway. It's a type of product that gets engagement. People interact with the ad. They might come to your website. Again, they might even buy from your website for the first time, because very often there's promotions that websites give if you are the first time you're purchasing from the website. But you are a premium skincare brand. Again, you don't want to go after that cheap audience. You want interactions and you want your ads to serve to users that are very likely to purchase and keep coming back to the website. If you let the machine do its thing, very likely it's going to optimize by itself towards that higher engagement audience. Those audiences are engaging with the ads. They might even purchase once. But when you put that human input into the campaigns and you take that data analysis approach, that creative approach, you can really tailor your strategy and your ads to go after the higher end audience, which is ultimately the audience you want to target. You also have a unique understanding of the product and service. Again, if you build campaigns on, let's say, Google, Meta, the algorithms, the AI doesn't really know what your product is about. They don't know exactly what's your product going to solve, who your product is tailored to. Whereas you, as human, when you create that strategy and you become that strategic partner, that data partner, you go into the platforms and you build campaigns that tailor to that audience that needs that product or service, because you understand what the product and service is going to do. Again, another example. If you are working with an app that is a finance app, you could even create audiences for finance, people that are interested in finance apps or that are interested in apps, all of that. But you as a human, you will know better who this app is tailored to. So it could be that you are targeting a younger audience and it's a finance app to help them save to buy their first home. Or it could be a finance app that is actually tailored to an older audience and help them finance for their retirement. Again, if you just build a campaign to promote a finance app and you let the machine do its thing by itself, it's going to take you very likely a long time to really target the audience you want to target. So again, as paid media specialists, we go into the job and we build those audiences and we build that strategy that focus on the audience we want to target. AI also can build the brand for you. We know that when you are running ads, a big part of the job is building that brand. It's really making your product, your service, your brand stand out with the competition and really creating demand for your product. And that is something that AI by itself can't really do. it's the combination of everything. Is how your brand gets perceived by the audience, is how your how the audience interacts with your brand, is how your product stands out from the competition. And that requires a human to go into the data, go into the campaigns, and create a strategy that really matches with what your brand is trying to achieve. Use that data analysis to really analyze the data and feed back into the strategy. Okay, is the audience reacting as we want them to react? Is the audience reacting a different way? Do we need to adapt the strategy? And also come with that creative aspect that we build ad copy, assets, all of that allows you to build the brand the way you want it to be perceived. We're also still fully responsible for optimizing the landing page and user journey. Again, we know that campaigns, if we use Performance Max as an example, they will send the traffic to the most relevant page, for example. But when it comes to providing the best user experience once the user is on the website, that's very, very important for paid media. Early in the year, Google announced there's some changes with the algorithms, and basically landing page experience is going to play an even more important role in how your ads rank and how much you get charged. So understanding that and optimizing that user journey should be part of the paid media specialist role. So we need to go into the campaigns and really understand, okay, maybe the pre-click traffic is amazing, users are interacting with the brand, but then they land on the website and they're not converting, or they're not buying the product we want them to buy, or it's for some reason, something is happening there that they browse the website and then they leave without purchasing anything. So again, we as humans are needed to go into the campaigns and really understand the full user journey and understand, okay, once the user lands on the website, how are they interacting with the website? How can we help them to convert? And we also have to think that paid media could be the first interaction, but then users will likely come back to the website through other channels as well. So again, we need to have that strategic approach, that creative, that data analysis approach in our job to really support as much as possible. When it comes to campaign innovation and experimentation, again, humans drive creative tests that is different to what the machine can do. We know that we can do loads of A/B testing automated by the machines. We can, for example, with the RSAs, we can have a bunch of headlines, descriptions, and Google will mix and match that to provide the best ad copy for each individual user. But when it comes to taking it to the next level and really experimenting, being creative, you need a human to do that. A few years ago, for example, I worked with a flower business, and in that industry, it's very common that men buy flowers to women, but we don't really see men buying flowers for other men or women buying flowers to men. And we ran some campaigns to really try to tap into that market and break that stigma, basically. And that required a lot of creativity, a lot of testing, a lot of strategic planning. But the truth is that we were able to basically open up a new source of revenue by really trying to push the idea that men can also buy flowers to give to their mates. They can buy flowers, women can buy flowers to also give to their partners. So again, this was a more advanced, potentially, testing idea and really trying to shape the brand and change the way that the brand was perceived as well. And you can't just rely on AI to do that for you. You need, as a human, to go into the whole strategy and really do that. In terms of customer feedback and emotional intelligence, again, the machines, they are getting better at understanding what the words actually mean and understanding emotional intelligence. But when it comes to really understanding how the audience is interacting with your product, with your service, the emotional attachment that potentially your product brings to the market, that's something that you need a human to really decode. We know, for example, handbag is a handbag, and you have handbags that cost £5 and you have handbags that cost hundreds of thousands. And the difference between them two is the emotional side of it, is the emotion, is the brand, is the emotion that users get from buying a £5,000 bag, which is different from the emotion they get if they buy a £5 bag. So understanding that emotional intelligence that the users have with your brand, with your product, understanding their feedback. For example, here, someone could say, this is unbelievable, and they might be very happy, or they could use exactly the same words, but they mean it in a negative way. So again, this is where, as humans, we need to go into the feedback that we get, the reviews, to really understand how the users are interacting with the ads, with the brand, and create that strategy, that data analysis, to help us position ourselves in the right way. As we know, AI and automation, they are definitely invaluable for our day-to-day job. They can help a lot with the strategy, with the creative, with data analysis, and they can really make our jobs much easier in a certain way. However, when it comes to bringing it all together, to really building, as I mentioned earlier, building that brand, building that strategy that is going to drive long-term growth and is going to help the business, not just from a paid media standpoint, but an overall business growth, overall tapping into a market that could be very competitive. You need a paid media specialist to bring those three together. So yeah, that's basically my talk today. We are still very much needed. AI hasn't replaced our jobs, and I believe we'll be needed for many, many years to come. Thank you.